plug in my charger as well, just for the. No matter how long we go, we always be good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mm. Okay, and we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast. We have an amazing guest with us this afternoon. That is none other than Brother Yahya Jabril Muhammad. We look forward to getting some information from him as well as some inspiration. First of all, assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
Yes, sir. This is truly an honor, sir. We're very humbled that you would take time out of your busy schedule to come spend some time with us.
Praise be to Allah.
Yes, sir. The first thing I want to know from you is my sister and I, we were big fans of the show, The Chi, especially the first season. And
yes,
when it came on and we saw it, my sister called me like, "Did you see Brother Yahya's ice cream shop on there, the pilot?" And I was like, I didn't know that's what it was. I didn't know. And I was like, "Oh, that's what it was." How did that come about?
Well, brother, I tell you, it really came about. They just was, man, we got a notice that they wanted to talk, and they loved the atmosphere, Sean Michelle's, and the ambiance, and they was just wondering, was it something that was feasible for them to be able to utilize our space for one of their scenes. It was just as simple as that. And so we just went through the process and the formalities of making it happen, and there it was.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. And
sure.
How can we support you and help promote, like for people who are in Chicago, where I'm from, Naperville? How can they, where's your business located and what is it called?
It's called Sean Michelle's Homemade Ice Cream. And we're on the corner of 47 and Wabash in Chicago. The exact address is 46 East 47th Street.
Okay, excellent. Yes, sir. And my next question is, I'm friends with a lot of your fraternity brothers. What made you, when you were in college coming up, what made you pledge and choose Omega?
Well, I tell you, when I first went away to college, and this is the truth, I really didn't have it in my mind to pledge a fraternity at all. And I just was a young guy that was from the streets of Chicago, born and raised on the South Side, 79th and Cottage Grove, and just the lure of college was attractive to me, and because I just wanted to escape the community, I just wanted to get out and get away. And I had the opportunity to go down to Western. My plan was to go to an HBCU to get down south. And a friend of mine, Warren Ballantyne, attorney Warren Ballantyne, who became known as the People's Attorney, he went to Western Illinois University. And he said, "Why don't you come on down and check it out?" So I had just came home. I had joined the Army National Guard Reserve, leaving straight out of high school just to get out the city. And then I returned and I visited Western, and I decided to stay for a semester. And I had a friend down there who had other friends, associates from Lindblom High School back in the days when I was in high school. And he asked me to go to the student union with him, and he walked me directly into an Omega Psi smoker. Okay, and that's what it was called back then in those days. And after going to the smoker, let's just say that things kind of went in that direction, and I said, I gotta get these. They owe me now. That's all I'm saying, you know. And things just happened to happen. It just happened like that. And once I pledged the Omega Psi Phi, I joined the Omega Psi Phi fraternity. I just really fell in love with everything about the school, and I wound up staying at Western Illinois University after that. I didn't leave.
Praise be to Allah. Beautiful. And thank you, my sister Miriam sends her greetings, and everybody who's watching. I appreciate that. Thank you all for the show of love. Okay, well, when did you first hear the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad?
Well, I was really, really blessed. I've been blessed. I was born in the Nation of Islam. And when the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad departed, I was about 5 or 6 years old, and my family separated after that. So I grew up just like everybody else. And so in 1989, A friend of mine, dear beloved brother, who just recently transitioned about 2 months ago, about a month ago actually, and we was in front of my house, drinking on 40 ounces of beer. This is just the honest to goodness truth.
Yes, sir.
And we were sitting inside of my car, and he said, "Man, why don't you run me somewhere?" And I was like, "Okay, no problem. You know, that's my guy." And lo and behold, he took me to 7351 South Stony Island Avenue, where the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was speaking in the downstairs area of the mosque. Now we know it as the Masala.
Yes,
and that
sir.
was my first time ever hearing the voice of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And that's all it took for me. I knew that I'd never, ever heard a man speak like that before. I knew that I never heard a truth that strong before. And from that day forward, even though I went back down to school, and sometimes it seemed like I was doing a Michael Jackson moonwalk going backwards until I heard his voice again. But that was all I needed. Then my father, all praise due to Allah, he took me in 1993 to Savior's Day. And that was my first time ever going to Savior's Day. And that was on Malcolm X, what really happened 28 years later.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so I was blessed. After that, you had Brother Akbar came down to Western to meet with some of the Muslims that were from overseas down. And I had a buddy of mine from New York named Khalid. And again, just like my first friend, he asked me to go through this spot with him. I didn't know where I was going.
Yes, sir.
And he took me into a basement level apartment with Muslims from around the world. He was the only one from America down there. And I saw Brother Akbar. They were all sitting with their legs folded like children listening to Brother Akbar. And he was teaching them, it seemed like, more about their own history and land than they knew. And during that same meeting, he talked about the Million Man March. And I was so right then and there. And we took a bus from Western Illinois University to Washington, D.C. And I'm so thankful to Allah for sending our brother down to Western. And, you know, it's just been history from there. I graduated in 1995 in December. Spring 96, I'm processing. Been FOI ever since. All praise is due to Allah.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. Excellent. And how did your family feel about you accepting the teachings?
Well, I tell you, it was, of course, a little, I guess, strange to a degree. But I didn't grow with my father in the house. And so I grew up just like most of us, you know, and I was raised along with my friends, you know. And so my mother, she winded up coming into the nation about 2 years after me, if not a year. And so when she saw what the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad was doing with me, I guess I didn't have to say much after that, you know, and praise be to Allah. And so I had some resistance, but it was the proof is in the pudding. And so I thank Allah, you know, it was like putting a clean glass next to a dirty glass.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so the action spoke so much louder than words by the help of Almighty God, Allah, and the person of Master Fard Muhammad.
Praise be to Allah. Beautiful. Yes,
Praise
sir.
be to Allah.
And thank you all for your comments and continue supporting People's Podcast. My next question, what was it like when you came in 1996? What was the training like? What was the environment like in Chicago?
Come on now. Hey, I'm still feeding off that training. I was just talking to some young college students before I got on this podcast here. And it was what was instilled in me as a young soldier in the ranks. That discipline. It was that the atmosphere of doing for self was so strong. I grew to be of those who absolutely believed it. And that they say energy is the same, it just transforms, it just changes form. And being raised under the military acumen while your father was a supreme captain. And I really, really admired and I really loved the way that we were living, the way that we were trained to live. And I was so excited at that time that I even quit my job. I put my family, of course, in harm's way. I forgot about the part to say still away, right? I was just so excited and so fired up. I really, really believed that I could do it. And So I quit my job and was selling ice cream out the trunk of my car in the wintertime. I'm pushing about 300 final calls. I'm a young, hard-hitting lieutenant.
Yes, sir. Yes,
and
sir.
I got 2 pies, and so I never, ever gave up. I kept on pushing. And so that just went from doing that. Then I rented out an office in the back of Sister Gloria's beauty salon. I never forget, on 63rd Street. May Allah be pleased with her. Went from there and rented out a room in the back of Brother Kareem's place where he sold the bean pies and the fish. And so I went from there to realizing how bad of a position I put my family in because I quit my job, right? I'm just, I'm believing that this is all about to happen right now. I wasn't aware, and I wasn't being mentored in the science of business, okay? Since we taught this study, the white man, since he's successful in business, that was one of the slices of the pie that was still in the making, okay? So eventually I went back to work under the field of social services as I was working before. And it didn't take me long. About a year later, I rented out a location on 79th Street right off of Langley. I didn't even have a license. I just was in there still believing I could just make it happen, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And came back and said, brother, you got to get a license. So I wound up fixing up that place and made some deals and made it attractive enough to and put my equipment in. I started selling homemade ice cream out of that location. I started to become a little popular in the community. And my sister, Sean, it was called Jabril Supreme Cream at the time. My sister, Sean, was killed in a car accident in November of that same year, 2000, about 2 years later, please pardon me. So under the tragedy of the circumstances of life, I took a step backwards and recuperated me and myself and the family for about 3 years. And around 2004, I decided to reopen the business, but dedicated to my sister, Sean Michelle. And that's how Sean Michelle's Homemade Ice Cream was born. And opened up my first Sean Michelle's Homemade Ice Cream across the street from Chicago State University on 95th Street. And instantaneously, it was much more successful than 79th Street. And I continued to mine that well, and I eventually opened up another location on 119th and Western Avenue. It did much better than 95th Street. And I continued to mine that well. And I always say I'm a real faith-based business because it took a lot of faith to establish what Allah has blessed me with. Went from there to 87th Street off Stony Island because it's a bigger facility, but it really wasn't designed for ice cream. They wouldn't even allow me to remove the bulletproof window. That's not an atmosphere for family. So I left that location, and I was looking for the ideal spot, and I went all around as far as Homewood Flower Smoke going south to the north side of Chicago. And I went to the north side. There was just people everywhere. So I was wondering, how would I stack up in a major market like this? You know, I've been on the south side, and I took a deal for a location for like $2,500 a month on the north side of Chicago. Just a tiny hole in the wall. And we fixed it up. And before you know it, you had the line out the door on the north side. But I had a learning lesson still yet to come. I didn't know nothing about the mechanics. I didn't know nothing about plans that, you know, how scientific even those arrangements in terms of food establishment. You have to have the right mechanical system in order to cool off an environment with big compressors and a lot of people. So this small location, a few months later, when it got really hot, it couldn't keep my ice cream cold. And before you know it, all of my ice cream was melting, right? And you only get one chance to make a first impression. And so I had to totally kind of revamp. And the next year, I decided that I need to do something different. And I have a friend of mine that I'm very close with named Jamal King. He's actually, he was doing real estate. He's a millionaire now, and he has a business of his own. He said, yeah, you just need to just turn right and look forward and don't look back. And I'm one of those brothers who really embrace the ideal of being able to invest in myself. I really believed it again. I shut my business down the very next day. And at that time, the Rosenwald building was being built on the south side of Chicago. It was a building that was totally gutted. It was the old, what we call the Carter building. It was a $260 million project. You had to have a hard hat on your head and muddy boots on just to walk through to take a look at it. I had no idea how I was going to pay for that. And so in the process of having faith and implementing faith, I worked around the clock. My wife would bear witness. I had about 3 jobs, and they probably all was full time.
Yes, sir,
and
yes,
I
sir.
saved and saved and saved and saved, and coupled with other resources, by the help of Almighty God, it took 2 years by Allah's grace, but I was blessed to totally complete a brand new build out. But more than just a brand new build out, it was the picture that I had on my wall of what I wanted. To this very day, as I listen to Belief in Allah by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan every single morning, because he lays out the process of bringing things into reality. So again, I got to give all praise due to Allah and being thankful for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Yes, sir. So, yes, sir.
I've been blessed, brother. I know I went on and on, but this is my story.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. And that's amazing, sir.
Praise be to Allah. Allahu Akbar.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, my next question is, and thank you all. I have some people in the comments showing you love and saying thank you. This is remarkable. Wow. Praise be to Allah. Brother Pang, Brother Ghazi, Sister Khadija. Shout out to Sister Khadija, a businesswoman as well. But your camera keeps going out. Okay, here we go. Yes, sir. Brother Yahya, what advice would you give to young entrepreneurs, period, but especially young ones who are going into business for themselves? Some kind of do's and don'ts.
I absolutely love that question. I want to start off by saying that my staff is about 98% our youth. Our staff is comprised of our children. And every Monday morning, I meet with them, but I don't train them on the technicalities of scooping ice cream. I with the help of Allah, my whole goal is to help develop and build the human being. It's to build and develop them, to get them to believe in themselves. Because I know once they believe in themselves and they embrace the vision, they can do anything inside of Shah Michelle's.
Yes,
and
sir.
Everybody's just amazed with the level of service. And the first thing I say is that that's our babies. I would put them against any business in the city of Chicago. I'll put them against any business in the United States of America, and it's our children. So we just got to get out your way. That's number one. And start to reinforce the value of finding out first what you love to do. Because it's fair when you doing what you love, it's not work anymore. So with my children, I've gone past that ideal of going to college to fit somewhere. No, you have a purpose. So you need to pray to Allah to identify your purpose that you have. And then you need to start paying attention, not paying attention. We have to start investigating the methodology of how to become successful in business. I never forget. We used to have 3 pictures up in Muhammad University of Islam. And it was a picture, I think one showed a picture of like architectural buildings. And
yes,
there was one that said something like, oh my goodness, like prepare yourself. To make a long story short, without remembering exactly what they were, it was directing us towards preparation. And I'm just pushing, that's my phone. It caused the camera to do that.
Yes,
and
sir.
So, 1 second, please, here. All right. So, I would say, well, we fail in business before we even go into business. Because the science, one of the sciences that's been kept from us is the science of doing business. And so we go in with a slice of the pie. We go in with an idea. We go in with a trade, a skill, but we don't understand that it's another component. That's the science of actually doing business. And I was blessed by Allah's permission. We have a beautiful brother in Texas, Brother Yusuf. And by way of our beautiful brother Saad, who loves his brother, he said, Brother Yahya, you have to couple with Brother Yusuf. And he asked Brother Yusuf that he just coach me pro bono. When he gave me an assessment, I realized that I really didn't know nothing. I'm a culinary gifted person. I'm a concept gifted person. But I didn't understand the science of, like Brother Dr. Wesley say, doing the math.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I didn't understand that it's a book called this book is called Managing by the Numbers. So if you don't understand that you have to justify being in business, it has to make sense. So one of the first things with doing business you have to do is called a feasibility plan. We have to learn the preliminary things that must be done in order to find out whether what we have to do is a good match for the marketplace. Marketplace is like speaking Chinese amongst us. These are, we got a lot of faith. We know how to get in and work it. When this pandemic occurred, they had issued emergency funding through what's called the PPP program. But what I learned later is that the majority of people didn't qualify for it because they had not established their businesses properly. And so, although they might have had employees, but you know how it goes. This is just not black people. They said the majority, about 60-something%. So we don't compromise that amount of that type of ratio in the marketplace.
Yes, sir.
So most business people are not established properly. So when a storm comes, we're not rooted enough to survive. So I would say again, the first thing you want to do before you start doing business is do a business plan, and you want to talk to somebody with experience so that you can learn how to make that business plan real for you and not just a document that somebody charged you $2,000 for. And if it's not a part of your experience, you won't be able to translate that. And so after finding out whether or not you have something that people actually want and that you can exchange it in the marketplace for a value that makes sense, now you can start doing studies to find out who what your perfect customer looks like. Now you can create a plan to target your customer. And then after that, now it makes more sense. Now you can find a location, since that's so important with doing business, that will give you the best opportunities for people to come and spend money with you and to support you. So just to say to the youth, don't abort the preliminary process of doing business. If you have an ideal, that's life. As the minister say, develop your ideal.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Work your ideal.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And don't quit on your ideal. Keep your enthusiasm. Believe in yourself. Turn the volume down of those who are negative in your ear.
Wow.
Pick up the teachings that give you life. Feed yourself motivation. See, it reminds me of your father when I was blessed to stay with him and the regional captain, Brother Oliver, when I was in LA. We were sitting down there by the minister, and I had a chance to come after I do my 5 o'clock in the morning walk every day. I come back and your father on the phone taking care of business in a 3-piece suit at 6 o'clock in the morning. We have to learn to live this. And this ain't for nobody else. I know Allah put me there because it was something I had to study. It's something I had to observe.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I
sir.
always say you can't be something if you can't see something.
Yes, sir.
So we've been blessed to see the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And from him, we have others that have been blessed to materialize the teachings. So we have to change that narrative and start mentoring those that's behind us and sharing that Allah has used to give us life. So that those who come behind us and not come behind us, but those who are walking in the same path don't have to hit the same product that we ran into.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Don't have to make the same mistakes. I read an article years ago that said you can become successful faster knowing what not to do versus knowing what to do. We always remember the things that we don't do right. So I thank Allah. And I just want to do a battery check. I'll make sure we always good to go.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I don't want to have no interruptions. We're good to go. We're charging like I want it to be charged.
Yes,
and
sir.
so, by Allah's mercy and grace, by way of Him blessing me to work my faith, which is the substance of things you hope for, It's the evidence of things yet seen. So the scripture says, show me a man with faith, and I'll show you a man with works. For faith without works is dead.
Yes, sir.
So you say that you have faith, we should see something materializing. Even if it's as small as dust, it should be something being arranged in a certain manner that is a reflection of what you have in your mind. So it was because Allah blessed me to have faith, to believe that I can walk into a situation that I had no experience in. I was used to going in and remodeling and making things happen in pre-existing structures, but I never ever did a brand new build out. And so Allah blessed me when it was so hard to find a contractor. So hard to find the components to make this thing happen. Allah blessed it all to come together. And from the moment I opened my doors, I always wanted to be in the hub of the Black community. Everybody have their own ideal customer and target base, but I'm from this. I don't want to sell something that's outside of my rural bill. And no knocks, no offense, but I'm not into Cayenne and Rosemore or whatever. I'm going to elevate what we already have.
Yes, sir. Yes,
and
sir.
So you have to speak to the people and they'll speak back to you. So from the day I opened those doors, after years of struggle, after years of trial and tribulation and heartaches and head bumps, Allah rewarded my faith. And that line last summer was packed to the rim, but we weren't satisfied. Brother Side would come in constantly, and you know, Brother Side, he come and look and observe our beautiful brother, and he'll say, "Man, Brother Yahya, you know, he always gives suggestions. He will bring and wrap people around me from amongst us with experience." So we continue to fasten the boat more and more and more, and we didn't know that the coronavirus was on the way. We all came back from Savior's Day fired up. And little did we know that it was another plan that Allah had for us. And by His grace and His mercy, when the coronavirus happened, of course, things kind of tightened up as it did all around the country. We made some adjustments. We looked at what we could do to still make ourselves to still give ourselves a chance to exist under these conditions.
Yes, sir.
And like everybody else, we had to institute social distancing. We had to re-engineer how we serve the customer by eliminating some of the congestion that we had in the front of our store, how many staff we could put in the front part of our store. We limited the amount of people that can come in the doors, and we put social distancing tape on both sides of the building all the way down the street. And Allah blessed us to increase in the year 2020, and we doubled the revenue, past double what we did the first year under these conditions. But I have to say that it was not something that I created. What I did was what was written by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and it's found in the book called The Secrets of Freemasonry. It's part dealing with the economic blueprint. We're told to get the very best that we can for the most reasonable price. And in that part of the book, he dealt with the concept of having a plate, not putting too much on it, the concept of an economy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so what I did was I ran a promotion that just don't make sense from a common business vantage point. I instituted a buy one, get one free, right? Like, who does that, right? We always trying to charge the most. And sometimes it's justified in charging what we charge. But how do we find a way to increase value with those who are looking to support us? I first tested it out on a Monday, which is the slowest day of the week. And bam, Monday shot up. I said, whoa, what is this? Listen, we got something here. We always did Family Day on Sundays and gave 25% off, and that was always one of our highest days in terms of revenue. Then I took the same thing we did on Monday, and I applied it on Friday. Friday shot up, bam. I said, oh, man, it's not a fluke. It happened again. Then I went from the month of December into now. I just recently took away Mondays, But I kept Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, buy one, get one free during the whole entire cold season and all the way into the pandemic. And people appreciated so much the fact that they could, as the street say, mess with us. No matter what you have in your pocket, you can come on a weekend and get one container of quart and get another one for free. And with the quality that we're sharing with our people, you can't match that. We taught to give our people the very best. And
Yes,
so
sir. Yes, sir.
that was revolutionary given the type of the orientation by which we're used to in the business world. So I also re-engineered my recipe just a little bit without sacrificing what makes Sean Michelle the best homemade ice cream in the world, by Allah's permission.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And it allowed us to be able to justify doing that, because if it don't make business, it don't make sense. You're just in the field of working your hobby, but that's basically charity. It has to make business sense. So by Allah's grace, we were able to provide value to the customer while at the same time increasing the affinity that the customer has for us. We instituted a customer loyalty program in October, and from October to now, we have over 16,000 people in our loyalty program, over 7,000 people on Instagram, and like mine on Facebook. We did not forget about marketing. We still market. We have TV commercials, radio commercials. We do Instagram, Facebook, all of that. And the biggest amount of attraction is the word of mouth. We get most of our customers from people telling others how much they enjoy Sean Michelle's homemade ice cream. And then we get customers because Allah bless us to stack the line up down the street. So that's eye candy. So people come in now and say, we've been waiting for the line to decrease because the line was too long. But we always want to know, what were they doing in the line? What was so good that the line was to the next corner?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Make the hood all good again. We're just trying to take us back down memory lane where we gave our people what we wanted for ourselves, and we was not mixing chemicals and stabilizers, and those things that was just not a part of our repertoire of our culture. We did things homemade. And so we're just trying to give us what we used to. We're just trying to show a little love, and we're just doing this through the expression of the culinary arts. All praise is due to Allah.
Praise be to Allah. Beautiful. Well, this is very inspirational. You're getting a lot of comments. Thank you all for watching. And this is important for me, doing the podcast, and for others. And Brother Yahya, I just have a quick 60-second commercial break for the sponsor. Speaking of business, I want to make sure I give credit to all of the businesses who have sponsored the People's Podcast. If you would like to make a donation, please cash at the People's Podcast so we can keep it going. Thank you all very much. 1 second. Here we go. It always does this. All right, here we go. I want to make sure that I thank everybody for watching, tuning in today. Thank you, Sister Jamila Afia, for your comments. Saying Sister Jamila says beautiful. Praise be to Allah. And Sister Katisa earlier as well. Street Premiere Media Production. My brother Rashad. He has a 4K camera and drone. They do work on television and film. If you need some editing done, please reach out to my brother Rashad on Facebook or in social media. My sister Miriam, ABC I Love Me, children's and coloring book, both of which are on Amazon. Thank you very much, Sister Miriam. Please get the book on Amazon. My sister Naima, Stay On Point Dance Academy, LLC. She teaches ballet virtually to young girls all across the country. Thank you very much. Supreme Men's Boys and Urban Wear out of St. Louis, Missouri. Thank you very much. He can ship clothes to you all across the country and keep you dripping with some of the best fashion. Supreme Team Insurance, Brother Todd X. McGraw. If you need your insurance done, reach out to him. Thank you very much, sir. Brother Chantil X out of Chicago. He hires truck drivers, as well as he says he puts the X in Express. He specializes in refrigeration. Brother Chantil, thank you very much, sir. Brother Jabbar Muhammad, Client First Construction Incorporating. Painting, carpentry, flooring, plumbing, etc. out of Chicago, Illinois, and the Memphis, Tennessee area. Thank you very much. Sister Landra L. Muhammad, Navy Beans, More Than Bean Pies. I'm coming right back to you, sir. Dr. Henry M. Carter, King Henry's Turkey Legs in here in Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you very much, Dr. Carter. Brother Rashad Muhammad in Chicago, Illinois, COVID-19 Disinfecting Cleaning Service. If you need something clean, reach out to Brother Rashad. And my father's book, A Soldier in the Movement of Christ, AbdulSharif.com. Thank you very much, Dad. Last but not least, my two books, Cleopatra, which is a children's book on Amazon, and also No Father, No Excuse, which is on Amazon as well. Thank you very much. We right back to you, brother Yahya. Boom.
Yes, sir. I love it. I love it.
Praise be to Allah.
Praise be to Allah.
Brother Yahya, what do you do for fun?
Man, for fun, brother, to be honest with you, one of the formulas they said that you should how to find what your purpose is in life. It's a formula for that. I don't remember it precisely, but I'm sure if you Google it, you can find it's all going to be very similar. But one of them is to find out not only what you love to do, but what others see that you love to do, and what you do well. And what I do for fun, and to be honest with you, I love, man, giving and inspiring those who I've been blessed to influence. And to be honest, that's the youth. That's
Yes,
those
sir.
who work for me. I was just on a podcast with a bunch of young college students that wanted me to be the special guest about a week ago. I just got finished talking to a bunch of college students before I came here. What I love about the youth, they have not the filter still look they have more room in their cup for you to share with them. Their experiences have not muddied up their hope, sort of.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And again, I just want to share with them that gave me life. And so that's fun for me. Fun for me is going out, seeing the majesty of Allah when I go out amongst our people. And our girl guards on the streets. I know that when you go out to share with that you have been given life, Allah infuses you with life.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I have fun creating in the culinary arts. I call it my culinary ministry.
Yes.
Because it should be so good, it should just make you want to praise and stomp your feet, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, we say auditing is anything that lifts the tone scale that makes you happier.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So it's a service when you give somebody something that makes them happy. They're so filled with life because you're sharing that is a part of you with them. And so that there is what those are other things that makes me happy. What makes me happy and filled with joy is when I even think on the amazing grace and think on just the thought of the chances out of all of so many people that's on this earth have been blessed to hear the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad through the honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. What's the chances of that?
Yes,
What's
sir.
the chances of becoming a soldier in the ranks? Not just a member of the Nation of Islam, but what's the chances that I had being imbued with the God's spirit and wanting to be a soldier?
Allahu Akbar. Yes, sir.
The chances that I would have the spirit that he gave me, that makes me happy. It makes me so and fired up and infused. This is my life and this is me 100% all of the time.
Yes, sir.
And I'm happy about that.
Praise
my wife said, "Wow, you always on 10." God damn it, to find a way to stop being a Negro, it takes all of the momentum you could possibly find.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So pardon my passion, but this is me and my space. And when I'm in my space and allowed to accept just to be myself, you're gonna get Brother Yahya.
Praise be to Allah. Wonderful. But you spoke earlier of my father, and when you all were in California and LA, I'm assuming that was during the time you were getting audited and going up the bridge.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I'm a huge mental health advocate. I know what auditing has done for me. I saw what my father was a completely different person in many ways once he came back from coming back from that. So I bear witness from my personally, but from observing my father as well and many others. What was it about, Dianetics that assisted you?
Well, brother, I can easily start by being a witness bearer that Allah has blessed the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to only lead us to pure water, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes,
so I had an opportunity to go. While working a full-time job, I was willing to let that go. I didn't care. The fact that I was invited by him meant more to me than anything else. I didn't consider what was going to happen after that. And so Dianetics helps us to rid ourselves of the things that keep us from being ourselves.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And it's the absolute science. And if we would just submit ourselves to the process, we will continue to receive results. I bear witness of that. And incorporating your father into this component of the conversation, again, I knew that for me, it was even more to it than that. What was the chances? Again, the chances.
Yes, sir.
That while I was from Chicago, and everybody from the city of Chicago all room with people from Chicago, I was the only one placed with your father and brother Oliver. And you know how serious they are. And I was able to observe, and I was like a fly on the wall, getting a real-time testimony of your father's walk with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And Allah blessed me to be a concept person, so I can hear something that while I hear it, I can materialize it in my mind and see it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so I was so fortunate to see aspects of a man that's been made by a man, that's been made by a man, that's been made by the man, made by Allah and the person of Master Father Muhammad, who raised for us the example of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad the Christ, and who left for us the example, their servant and honorable Miss Louis Farrakhan, who your father was taught and raised up by Allah's grace by him. And so I thank Allah for that. And the proof is in the pudding. I don't have to go any further. You can tell the tree by the fruit that it bears.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You come to Atlanta, you see that military barren. It's right there. You're not going. I tell everybody, you're not walking into Atlanta sitting down and not checking it. It just has your father written all over it, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So I thank Allah for that experience, brother. I thank him.
Beautiful. I didn't know y'all roommates. That's amazing. Okay.
For the whole time, summertime. Yes, sir.
Excellent. Well, my next question for you is, what's your favorite album of all time?
My favorite album?
Yes, sir.
Oh, brother. Of course, I would have to say, when it comes down to albums, it definitely is a rap album for sure. And you say all time. That's a hard question. You know what I'm saying? Because God just continues to create himself. There's no limit, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I mean, you can go back to Paid in Full.
Okay.
You can come back to Public Enemy when they dropped that, man. The Don't Believe the Hype album.
Yes, sir.
You can keep going all the way down to NWA. You can go all the way down to Kendrick Lamar.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so I just continue to see the God in our people, and how they so majestically are able and blessed to bring rhythm together with a message. And so I guess without answering the question directly, I have to think about it, brother. To be honest with you, I was a Tribe Called Quest fan.
Okay.
Some jewels, brother. I mean,
yes,
hard hitting jewels. A gangsta fan. Come on now. I'm sorry, brother. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, step in the arena. God, Lord have mercy, brother. Yeah, I'm just saying, brother. Yes, sir.
Beautiful. Okay. My last. I have two more questions for you, sir. First of all, I want to thank your brother, Dr. Robert, for for also being a plug and just being a good brother and always promoting you and saying you got it. And I was like, I'm on it. And
beautiful
drill. Now, when I was younger and I was a junior at FY, I remember you drilling. I remember you all practicing. I remember you all stomping hard, and that's how I never knew about the ice cream and everything like that. I knew I was like, oh, that brother's lieutenant. He's serious. He's drilling. What
you got to drill?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What was it about drill that that made you made you like it?
As we're taught, and I bear witness, it's the exercise of the gods, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And it trains our mind to receive a command from another black man. And we're warriors by nature. And so I was listening to Brother Joshua podcast that he had with you.
Oh, yes, sir.
Brother Elijah, not Brother Joshua, Brother Elijah. And he was making mention of how he always wanted to be, man, to have something to do.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes,
that's
sir.
not
Yes, sir.
the black man. You're cheating the black man if you don't provide structure for the black man. You're cheating the black man if you don't nurture that natural soldier in him and that military. I love to drill. I love to drill now.
Yes,
But
sir. Yes, sir.
I still feel I can get on that stage and put a hole in it, brother. I always want the old school to come with merge with the new school.
Yes, sir.
Come
Yes,
on,
sir.
brother. Man, I seen the Donovan Missile Farrakhan drill.
Yes, sir.
Brother,
Yes, sir.
please, soldiers got to drill. What is a soldier that don't drill, brother? That's all I want to know. Show me a soldier and I'm going to show you when to drill.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And that same spirit carries over into the work. That same spirit carries over into business.
Yes, sir.
That same spirit carries over to persevering through life's trials and tribulations and also into building a family. So all praise is due to Allah.
Praise be to Allah. Beautiful. Yes, sir. And thank you all for watching People's Podcast. Speaking of your family, what advice would you give to future fathers?
Brother, the advice that I'll give to future fathers is one, be patient, seek counsel, because again, our path of the past is laden with just mistakes from a lack of wisdom.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And the more we can find those to seek counsel and guidance from, that is living apparent, at least to the eye, at least. My father used to always say, you want to have some honey, you better find somebody who tasted honey before.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? And so you got to find someone who's at least striving to have some type of reflection of that you're trying to see for yourself. And so seek counsel, seek guidance. If you know, in the Nation of Islam, pull all of the lectures that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has shared with us of the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad that would allow us to produce that the God desired to be found in us as black men.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I don't know what I would do. I always like to say he is the reference point for me, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Yes, sir.
And I would not know of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad for it not being the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad through him.
Wow.
And so I have to myself. I'm just a very straight cut person. I have to take it right back there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I couldn't take no credit. What kind of I wouldn't have be a father. I would probably be somewhere doing whatever if it was not for Allah providing me with the atmosphere of being a mighty FOI in the Nation of Islam, brother. And so I thank Allah for that. I'm not going to even start going down a lane like it's something I can tell you of myself. No, sir. I'm a duck and give the praise where it belongs and pray to Allah for his mercy and grace to help me to become a better father and to make right the things I didn't do so well. And I just got it, man. That's it right there, straight up.
Praise be to Allah.
Sir.
Are you ever going to go into the ministry, sir?
Well, by Allah's mercy and grace, I've been in the student ministry now for quite some time.
Oh, okay. I can tell. I didn't know. I can tell, though.
Brother, student minister Ishmael, Allah, I love my brother. I was in the Ministry of Trade and Commerce, and I was the MC of an event that we did at Thule Park. And I remember after the event, he said something along these lines, brother, you're not a lieutenant, you're a minister, brother. And that's how that happened. But I've been, by Allah's grace and mercy, Chicago only has one microphone. So all around the country, we should go out and take our ministry that Allah give us, his ministry, not ours, and share what he shared with us, with our people. So I've been working in the Algill Garden community for about 12 plus years now. Before we went to LA. And I just thank Allah to bless me to be able to fully express what he's given me of his teachings to manifest that, to be a reflection and to be able to share the life-giving teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad through my experiences to help the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and to help Brother Student Minister Ishmael in Chicago help him. We got to make sure we remember, keep the protocol. I'm a helper of Brother Student Minister Ishmael to help the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Beautiful.
So all praise is due to Allah, brother.
Excellent.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, my last question is, What would you like your legacy to be, sir?
What I like my legacy to be uh, is a brother who loves being a mighty FOI.
Allahu Akbar.
And I think if you're striving to be a mighty FOI, that encompasses everything else.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because to be a good father is a mighty FOI, you know. Well, to be a mighty FOI is to be a good father. To be a mighty FOI is a brother who does for self. To be a mighty FOI is a good husband. To be a mighty FOI is a good son.
Yes,
To be
sir.
a mighty FOI is a reflection, striving to be a reflection of the God Himself. And so I again would have to put it all in that envelope. And so that's what I like for my legacy to be, is to be one that has been one that's, of those who's striving
Praise be
to
to
be
Allah.
a good helper to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, brother, and the mighty FOI, a good husband, a good father, and a good member of our community and businessman, which is a mighty
Excellent.
FOI. Yes,
Praise
sir.
be to Allah. Well, I want to say that you have been always kind to me and my family. I appreciate that, and I love you and I love your
I love
family.
you.
They are it's nothing but love between us. Continue,
Yes,
please,
sir.
to be a
Allahu
great
Akbar.
example in the community. You have no idea how many people you inspire.
Allahu Akbar.
Everywhere. Please, may Allah continue to bless you. To
Likewise.
be a mighty FOI, sir. I
Well,
thank you.
brother,
Yes, sir.
I was going to say, I want to give thanks to Allah for your father because I was raised as a lieutenant when he was the supreme captain.
Praise be to
And
Allah.
that it has been my kind of orientation as a soldier. So please give your father the greetings for
Oh,
me.
yes, sir, I
I
will.
remember at all times military etiquette. So if I'm in Atlanta, if I'm someone I see your father as a soldier, I want to go and just reach and hug him. But the soldier in me got to respect military etiquette, brother. So just let them know that I love them and love your family, brother.
Praise
And
be
I
to
thank
Allah.
Allah for your family and the
Praise
contributions that you all have made in the Nation of Islam.
Praise be to Allah. Likewise, sir. Thank you all for watching the People's Podcast. Please like, share, and subscribe. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Allahu Akbar. Wa alaikum salam, sir.